Good morning, good afternoon. It's Samantha with Venus Mastermind. So, I want to talk today a little bit about values and how we really can shape, define, and create our values and understand what truly is our values and what's not our values. Now, I know during my coaching sessions with my clients, I have the opportunity to use an amazing tool, and that's Vedic astrology. And I know how to dig into their chart, look at their second house, look at the Lord of their second house. Where's a place to really help me help them define their values? It's just a little tip and secret I have during my coaching sessions. And that's kind of how I use astrology, but it's in a very innovative way. With that being said, let's talk about how you can define your values today, or at least get a jump start on it. So, like I was explaining in my purpose video, sitting down and writing out everything that you do every day without fail. And also, on top of that, what does that action, what does that regular habit actually bring you? This is twofold. One, it helps you become more self aware, and we all want to become more self aware of what we do every single day. Two, it helps you discover if you're doing something that really doesn't bring you joy or benefit, that really benefits your life, not somebody else's life, but your life. What is that benefit that you're getting from that habit? Those really define or help you define your values, where you know where to start if you want to change some of your values. Remember, our values were handed down by our parents, and their values were handed down by their parents. So it's the people that we had as authority figures in our life when we were younger was teaching us their values. And of course, they wanted us to live according to their values because that's what they valued. It wasn't something that they put out to be mean or try to shape you like a little mini me, if you will. No, it was something that was important to them. So most people think if it's important to me, it's got to be important to you. What is important to me is very different than what could be important to you. That's something that a really good coach helps you with, is defining your own values, helping you really quiet those voices, dig deep and look at your values. Because once you understand and know your values, your life starts coming into alignment in a very powerful way. Your boundaries, you know where they end and you know where they start, because everybody wants you to live according to their values, but that may be not where you belong. And that is okay to say no. In fact, I just came into that situation where somebody approached me in a way of, please come into my tribe and do what we do. And I simply said, we need to put a pause on that, because that's not where my value is. That's not going to give my life a benefit at this time. Not saying that it may not be a benefit later down the road, maybe a couple years down the road, but certainly not now. That's not what I value. And if I try to do something for somebody else because that's what they value, but it's not what I value, anger. That's when you get into anxiety, anger, depression. Are you feeling any of these things? It just means that you're not living according to really, truly what you value. So look at those things that you do every day. Look at those things that you put yourself out every day. Are they bringing you joy? Are they giving you energy? That's a clue. That may be they don't align with your value. There's nothing wrong with that. It's being aware of it and knowing, hey, I can put up a boundary here because I don't value that. So it's an automatic no. Have you ever heard that saying? It's a hell yes or a hell no? It's a hell yes or a hell no to according to living to your values, doing actions that align with your value. Our values change throughout life. What I valued in my 20s, I certainly do not value now in my life. And that was many, many years ago. It feels like decades ago. My goodness. Now I'm thinking back when I'm 20, I'm just like, oh, who was that person? Like, I'm not even the same person. So, of course, my values are going to be completely different now, according to what they were. My values are more defined. I'm more careful. I don't have to have 15 values. How about if we just create really good 3 values and live by those values? You can really start establishing your boundaries when you define your values because you know who you are. You know what makes you tick. You know what's good for your life. You know what's good for your well-being. It's going to be very different for everybody. There's no judgment on it. Everybody needs to take care of their own values. It's not your job to see that somebody else is living their value or to help somebody live their value. It's your job to make sure you're living your value. And when you're in alignment with your values, you attract people with those same values. It just happens because you're focused on your values. And that's where your energy goes. That's where your focus will go. And guess what? That's who you're going to attract into your life. It's those values. They are such an important part of your foundation of your life. If you were raised up in an amazing household with parents who understood emotional intelligence, self-awareness, who embodied these things, then they helped you create your values because they understand their values are not going to be your values. And they would help you find those values. Loving ourselves, being kind and being compassionate and being forgiving of ourselves. When you start practicing that and defining those values in your life from that space, that seeps onto everybody else. You become more kind and compassionate toward others because you're going to realize that we're all here learning and we're at different levels of self-development. It's not about being perfect. Perfection doesn't bring ease, love, compassion, and forgiveness. Perfectionism actually is a very negative trait. It's something that brings disease. So think about your values today. Start writing down what you do every day and start evaluating. Does it make you feel good? Does it give you energy? It will help you define your values. It will also start the process of boundaries. It's really easy to establish a boundary when you start loving yourself, understanding yourself, being kind to yourself, living by your values. It brings amazing self-empowerment. No matter where you're at, you know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And you're happy to say, put a pause on that. Or you're happy to say, absolutely not, no. Because you honor yourself and you honor the other person. When we do stuff that doesn't make us feel good, that we're not excited about, that doesn't feed us, that we can't bring out the best of us, it's a negative experience for the other person also. Understand this is not just about you. When you're living in alignment, you're giving the best version of you to others. So it's a positive experience, not just for you, but for the other people in your life, especially the ones that you hold close and dear and that you love. So today, just contemplate. What do you do every day? How does that make you feel? If that's a value of yours, how does it benefit you? Where does that fit into your life? Are you feeling energized by it? Or are you feeling angry or frustrated or trapped? I look forward to being back here tomorrow with understanding what obstacles look like in our life and what it's telling us, and how actually our obstacles or hurdles are a chance for us to gain self-empowerment, to gain clarity, to be creative, and to really move forward in a positive direction, and to see if we're actually aligned with our values. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful and blessed day.